Hey everyone, so if at any point in the video you enjoy what you see, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with the post notifications on. But all that aside, I hope you enjoy the video. Hey everyone, sorry I haven't made a video in a month. I posted on my Instagram and Twitter that I would not be uploading in the month of April to focus on school. But apparently a lot of you people didn't get the memo because I got a lot of DMs of people asking me if I died. And unfortunately for you, no, I'm still here. Sorry to get your hopes up. But as you can see, I am not in my dorm room. I am back home in my parents' basement. The reason for this is because I just finished my first year of college. And I've had a lot of people request that I make more college-related videos. So in today's video, I am going to just be talking to you about my freshman year of college. Just kind of ramble about my experience and stuff like that. And maybe kind of help out some of you incoming freshmen. Because God forbid this video actually be informative and teach you something. So for those of you who may be newer to my channel, I actually attend Loyola Chicago, which is a university in Chicago, if you didn't know. Now, I'm from the Washington, D.C. area. So from where I live, it's about a 12-hour drive to get to Loyola. So luckily for me, a lot of people from my high school did not end up going to my college. Maybe like only one other person. And this was great because, to be honest with you, I really hated my high school. Like, I really did not like a lot of the people there. It just wasn't for me. So I was personally excited to get a fresh start with a bunch of new people who I had never seen before. Which leads me to the first topic that I wanted to talk about, which was making friends in college. As I said, I was coming into a completely new place. I didn't really know anybody. So the first opportunity for me to meet new people at my college was my college's orientation. Now, going into orientation, I made it my mission to meet as many people as possible because for those of you who don't know, I'm not very social. I don't really enjoy talking to people, but I wanted my college experience to be a little bit different. I wanted to have some friends because honestly, I don't really know what it's like to have friends, and I kind of wanted to know what it was like. But the thing about orientation is that a lot of the people that I ended up meeting at orientation, I didn't actually end up talking to past orientation. Now, what I mean by that is I did talk to a good amount of people, but it turned out that I didn't have any classes with them. I didn't really live near them. We didn't have the same major. Like, in order for us to see each other, we would have to make an effort to see each other. And since I'm really lazy and I'm not willing to like do all this work to like keep a friendship, I didn't really make too many actual friends at orientation. I pretty much talked to them and then never saw them again. But my orientation was actually in the summer, so it wasn't until a few months later that I actually moved into campus. Now, I had to live on campus because honestly, doing a 12-hour drive back and forth every single day from my house to my college would probably not be the most efficient thing in the world. So since I was living on campus and I didn't really know anybody, I decided to have my school randomly select a roommate for me. But luckily for me, I actually ended up getting paired with someone who was actually pretty cool. I kind of liked my roommate. And I was always kind of nervous about living with another person because I was always told from other people that there was always going to be a bad roommate. Whether it be myself being the bad roommate or my actual roommate being the bad roommate. And as I said, I didn't really think my roommate was that bad. I thought he was kind of cool. So then by that logic, that means I would have been the bad roommate, which is weird because I thought I was a pretty good roommate. You know, I went to bed at like 10:30. I never had any guests over. I was always pretty quiet. I kind of kept to myself. Like, I feel like I'm the pretty ideal roommate. Well, other than the fact that I didn't really keep my room clean. I never did a really good job with that. So here's my drawer. As you can see, it's really well organized. There's my roommate's bed. As you can see, his side is all really clean. And then there's my side. And my desk. But for those of you who are thinking about rooming with another person, I highly recommend you do it. Because sharing a living space that is meant for an infant with another teenager is actually really good bonding experience. Like, you get a pretty good relationship out of that. And the good thing about having a roommate is that I was instantly introduced to a few of his friends. So then I had a few familiar faces right when I stepped on campus. So within the first couple of days, I was comfortable with my roommate. I knew like one or two of his friends. So now it was time for me to try to make friends friends with people living on the same floor as me. Because believe it or not, the people that you live on your floor with, you're gonna see them quite a lot because they live on the same floor as you. So within the first week of school, my RA held an event where we all got to meet each other, you know, shake each other's hands, do that game where like you tell 2 truths and a lie, you know, that classic game. And then we all went to Target together because name a better bonding experience than going to Target with a bunch of people that you just met. And during that whole social event, I was trying to meet new people, I was trying to talk to new people, but for some reason I felt like a lot of the people I was talking to weren't giving me the same energy back. It's almost like a lot of these people weren't really interested in what I had to say. And the reason why I believe this is that a week later, all the people in that group who went to Target who lived on my floor ended up having a party and I wasn't invited. It didn't really bother me that I wasn't invited to the party because I don't really vape or drink or whatever the cool kids do anyway. But I could just tell a lot of these people living on my floor weren't really for me. Like, they didn't really seem interested in including me, and I don't know, I just didn't really vibe with them. And from my observation, within the first couple of weeks, everyone already kind of started to have their friend groups, and if you were someone like me and you didn't really find your friend group yet, you felt kind of lost. I really didn't have like a group of people who I talked to. Now, there was this one instance where this one group of people invited me to go out with them, which I was pretty excited about. You know, social interaction, that's always fun. And it honestly kind of seemed like they invited me out of pity, and afterwards they never really invited me again. Like, I would see them go out with each other, like with everyone in that group, and they would just ignore me, which, you know, it happens, I guess. But when it came to making friends in general, I probably didn't do as great of a job as I would have liked to. And I think the most important lesson I took away from this is people aren't going to come to you. It can't be like this one-way thing where I just sit here and wait for people to talk to me and try to be my friend. Like, I have to make that effort to be their friend, and they have to make an effort to be my friend. It's a two-way street. So the next thing I wanted to discuss was kind of the classes and the workload. In college, you're able to make your schedule, which is really refreshing. So when it actually came time for me to make my first schedule, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna schedule all my classes later in the day. I'll be able to sleep in. Like, oh, college is gonna be lit. But what colleges usually don't tell you is that the classes fill up really quickly. The upperclassmen always get priority. The classes that you want, you probably won't get. And overall, the freshmen usually get screwed. I had some classes that I needed to take, that I needed to get out of the way, but the only available options were like 8 a.m. classes. So I had 8 a.m. classes throughout the entire semester, Monday through Friday. Also, in my first semester in the fall, I was not aware of this website called ratemyprofessor.com. It's basically a website where you can research the professors that you're looking to take, and it's just a bunch of anonymous testimonies talking about and reviewing the professor. I didn't do this my first semester because nobody told me about it. I didn't know it existed. And it's safe to say that because I didn't use that website, I definitely got a few professors that, to put it in the nicest way possible, I didn't really fit in with. So then in my second semester, I was actually able to see the professors that kind of worked for me the best, and I had a much better experience in my second semester than I did in my first semester. And one question that I get a lot is, how hard are the classes in college, or at your college in particular? And to be honest with you, it depends. It depends on the professor. And I know that's not the answer that a lot of people want to hear, but that's just the reality. So I come from a pretty well-respected high school, and I will say I believe that my high school was harder than college. Now, one of the main reasons I think this is because with college, you have a lot more free time. You're able to kind of plan your schedule. With high school, I would have classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 classes in a row, same classes every single day. But with college, I would have my classes split up over Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday. So there was always a gap in between classes, so I would always have a day at least to do the work. With high school, you didn't really get that luxury. You would have something assigned, and then the next day it would be due. But college, you have more time to do your assignments. I had some times where I would have like a 3-hour gap in between my classes, and I would be able to get work done. Oftentimes I would take a nap, but sometimes when I wasn't feeling lazy, I would actually get work done. Now, obviously on top of that, you have to juggle like doing your laundry, going out to buy appliances, like doing a bunch of adult stuff. So the next thing that I get a ton of questions on is, what is the food like in college? And I think a lot of people are expecting like really good gourmet food, and the reality is you're not gonna get that at dining halls. This isn't a knock on my school at all. Like, I think my school is cool school and everything, but the reality is colleges aren't really known for their food. They're known for like their education. And for me, I learned this really quickly. So my school has 3 different dining halls, so I had to see which one serves what food on what day, what time do they close, when is like, where do they serve the wings on this day, on that day. Like I had to check the schedules. Like it was really a lot of work. Next thing I wanted to touch on was extracurriculars in college. Now I was worried that I wouldn't able to have the time to do the things that I wanted to do on campus. But if you manage your time well and don't take pointless naps in the middle of the day, you should have time to do the things that you want to do outside of school. Me in particular, I decided to join a sports broadcasting show. I've talked about it a few times on my channel. Basically, it was like an actual TV show. I learned how to run a camera, I learned behind the scenes, and I also did some stuff in front of the camera as well. And I was definitely nervous about joining extracurriculars, and especially this one in particular, because I was worried I was gonna make a ton of mistakes. And the reality was, I did make a ton of mistakes. But to quote legendary recording artist Hannah Montana, everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days, everybody knows what I'm talking about, everybody gets that way. So yes, I did make a lot of mistakes in the show, but I really learned a lot. And for those of you who are watching this, who are gonna be freshmen soon, if you're gonna take anything away from this video, I would recommend that you try to get involved with like extracurriculars as early as possible. The last thing I wanted to touch on was free time in college. This is something that I also get a lot of questions about because a lot of people are worried that they won't have time to do any of the things that they used to do back home. I would have some weekends where I would actually carve out a time in my day where I would just go explore the city of Chicago because I knew I needed a break from all this schoolwork. So I remember one weekend I went downtown and looked at all the Chicago tourist attractions. I went to that bean, you know, like the giant mirror in the shape of a bean. Honestly, I don't really understand all the hype about it. It's really not that cool. Also, I'd make time to make YouTube videos. Not gonna lie, I did a pretty good job about making videos in college. Obviously, there were a few months where I just didn't upload, like last month. But still, for the most part, I thought I did okay. So as long as you're able to plan out your schedule pretty well, you'll have free time to do the things that you like to do, whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, my freshman year experience wasn't that bad. It was nice to be on my own and do things all by myself. Like, that was pretty cool. I didn't have my mom constantly breathing down the back of my neck. Obviously, there are things that I would have done differently, but hopefully me telling you about all the mistakes I made will help you not do what I did, because nobody wants to end up like me. Have you had your freshman year yet? Do you agree with some of the things that I had to say? Do you have any advice you would like to give to incoming freshmen? Or if you're gonna be an incoming freshman, did this video help you? Do you want me to cover anything else? But that's all I pretty much have to say in today's video. I'll be posting a lot more this summer. As I said, make sure to leave a comment, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you next time.